Hey everyone, welcome to the Modern Indie Artist Podcast, where we break down what it's like to be a modern independent artist. I'm your host, Alan Rigdon, and today's guest is definitely not a one-hit wonder. Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I'm here with my good friend Chris, fellow musician and phenomenal songwriter. Let everybody know who you are and what's the name of your band.
Thank you so much, man. So my name is Chris Davis. I am from Sacramento, California. I live in Milwaukee. I have a band called Still Stare. This is a recently formed band. At first, it was just me making music and then just going to Facebook groups and posting it. People really liked it, and it was really cool. And it pushed me to just keep making more music. That was back in 2019 that I just started posting music. And over time, the feedback just kept coming in great. So I knew the next step was to capitalize on having people's attention. So created the band Still Stare. I think it was like December 2019 or January 2020. You and I had been working on the debut single by that time, I believe. I think Forbay came out in February 2020.
Wow.
Yeah,
it was that long ago? Jeez.
2 years, dude. 2 years. It's just gone nothing but well. So eventually, this time last year, I linked up with the drummer. His name is Marcus. Phenomenal drummer, phenomenal dude. And everything kind of fell into place after that. So Marcus, his cousin, is also his best friend, which is Travis, our bassist. So they're very close. And then our vocalist, Luke, they've like been friends since they were like 2. So they have like an incredible bond. And they also like, they love me and I love them. So it's all one big family. But they eventually all fell into place earlier this year. That's when we became like an actual band.
That's awesome, man.
Just putting music on the internet just for response, like that's really all it was at first. But never had really gone the route of like, yo, what do y'all think of this?
That's funny because like that's how I discovered you was from the Gent page. I didn't know who you were or anything. I had seen your old band, what was it, Petroglyphs or something like that?
Petroglyphs, yeah.
Like scrolling through stuff a long time ago. I saw like your band name. I was like, hey, that's a cool band name, and saw like some artwork or whatever. I was like, that's cool. And
What?
I think I even checked it out and thought it was kind of cool, but I didn't know that that was your project. You posted one of your songs on the Gent page, and I was like, I haven't heard any one person in the Gent group post anything remotely close to what you were posting. So I was like, this dude's got it. I got to talk to him. So that's why I hit you up.
Dude, I had just got married today.
Yeah, congratulations, by the way.
So
I had no idea when I asked you to like be on this with me. You're like,
I know.
Yeah. Me and the wife are going to go eat. And then all of a sudden, Sarah's scrolling through Facebook and is like, hey, Chris got married today. Are you sure that he's going to want to do the podcast thing? And I was like, what?
Look at Sarah just asking the hard-hitting questions off the bat.
And I'm like, wait, what? He didn't tell me this.
Yeah, we didn't tell anyone.
Yeah.
It was a surprise for, like our immediate family knew.
You said it was like a drive up, like it's like drive through, like
yeah, dude.
Like let me get a certificate.
Yo, coolest thing ever, dude.
Yeah.
We didn't want to make it a big deal right now because it's just not the time right now. We're both, trying to just secure the bag and, get our work done. We'll plan like a party for it in the future. But the fact that you can like drive up to it's like a wedding place and you pull up and a dude also pulls up. You have to tell him like, oh, I'm 3 minutes away. And he's like, bet, like you text a number and they're like, okay, cool. And then they show up and it's so funny because like, it's exactly the same as like getting married normal, but you're just in a car. So like we had like our rings to give to each other.
You were in the car?
Yeah, dude, we were in the car. It was, it was so convenient. That is the coolest thing I think I've ever done in my life.
We kind of touched on a little bit how we met. We met through the Gent group on Facebook. I wanted to record you because I thought that your music was good. It's rare when I reach out to someone like that because what got me interested in you was your sense of composition, your songwriting. It just hit me different. It wasn't like generic or anything. That's really what caught my attention with you. Me and you re-recorded Forbay and Dogwood. Those are on Spotify. You guys can go check that out. Still Stare.
Yep, that's the one. that time in life was so fun, dude. The message, like the initial message I got from you, like I have it in a screenshot and it's saved forever. I like every year, like the memory thing comes up. I'm like, Casey, remember this? And Casey is like, that's where it all started. And I'm like, yay! Like, I know. But that initial message said everything that you just said, basically, like in your first approach. You were like, I don't just reach out to people, just throw them like, yo, you're sick. There was an approach to it that's like, dude, like it was like, I think you're onto something. Dude, that spark, man. And I'm still running with it. 100 yards, man.
What blows my mind is like, and it really doesn't blow my mind anymore because it just really solidifies like what I initially believed in you with your potential. But you just one after another, dude, bangers. Every time you post on the group, it's like, and people can't get enough of it either. And I love that. I love when people are just like, oh my God, everything this dude posts is a banger. Like that's so sick. I'm glad you're getting that response, dude.
That, dude, never had that in my life. Like the first time I got it, I was like, all right, that'd be cool to get again. Not even off of just like the reach or the popularity, but I'm like, oh, no one's going to say anything bad? It was like nothing but like just amazing positivity. This is my first post here. It's like been like 6 hours and like hundreds of people, hundreds of comments later. I'm like, dude, I'm talking to all of you, dude. I'm so stoked. That is what I got like addicted to.
And you killed it every time, dude. You like duplicated the process. And that's actually what I wanted to talk about. Before we get into that, I just kind of want to ask, like, how long have you been a musician? Like, when did you start playing music?
Guitar Hero at 10, first guitar at 11. Didn't really start to learn guitar until like 12, 13. And by like 13, that's when I was like, okay, I want to play Waking the Demon super bad. Then I got better. I started learning how to actually like read tabs and stuff like that. So from 13 to like 15 is where I just became like a metalcore guitarist. Like As I Lay Dying, Wolf My Valentine, like all of those bands, that's what I was learning. I became a super rhythm-oriented player because of that, which typically can show in my music. I don't lead a ton, and if I do it, I feel like it has to be like carefully placed. It's not something that I can always naturally just feel out in like a rhythm. But I think my first band, I want to say I was like 16 years old.
It wasn't Petroglyphs, was it?
No. So this is the band before Petroglyphs. The Sun Sets Here was the band name. And it was a complete ripoff of Vanna's song, The Sun Sets Here.
Dude, Vanna's sick.
Dude, Vanna is sick, but we weren't like anything like them. Like we were terrible, like bad. We were also super young. But we all had like glimmers of like talent here and there. Once that band fell apart, the guitarist of Petroglyphs, he's the one that started it initially. His name is Chris Biermans. It's my guy. Definitely on my list of like mentors / sensei kind of people. He pushed me a lot. And him and I became super good friends, and we loved playing guitar together. The only guitar player in my life that I've ever sat down with and just like, all right, riff.
Just gelled with, yeah.
Like we would annoy people. We would just keep playing our songs over and over, but we're loving it. We're like, oh, dude, nailed it, smoked it, do it again.
Smoked it.
Like, dude, we have to go to the show. Like, dude, let's practice some more.
So when did you start taking music seriously? Like, I want to make this like my life, a career, whatever.
Still Stare is when that happened. The first Jet Group post was like the start of it, honestly. That was like the catalyst, really.
That's crazy, man, because I was there for that. Like, I didn't realize that was like a pinnacle moment for you.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of people that still follow me to this day that were there since that first video. And I remember, like,
that's awesome.
I gotta tell people, like, when they comment on anything, I'm like, it'll be like completely unrelated to Still Stare. I'm like, dude, you're day one OG, by the way. Like,
I know. I see your comments, dude. I love reading everything.
Oh, dude. Oh, man, dude. I personalize comments.
Dude, I know. You're king at that, dude. And I love that you do that. That's seriously super important.
I love it so much.
That's good that you love it, dude. Like, you hardly meet people out there that actually want to do that.
Yeah, even if you just shoot me like a fire emoji, like, dude, you're getting
a paragraph from Chris, dude, like, thank you, day one.
Be like, dude, let me tell you how much this fire emoji means to me right now, dude, in like 17 paragraphs.
Dude, that's spot on.
Dude, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. That was like the moment where I was like, yeah, okay, wow, that was nice. I never really like thought of it as like a marketing thing. I was just happy that people were there for it. Okay, realistically, after it happened like the 6th time in a row, I was like, all right, I definitely have made improvements since then, but you didn't really need to have like the most produced track to understand what was going on. And for people that like similar music, you kind of just place it in like if this was like well produced, it would sound even better, you know?
Well, see, how I look at it is the mix was good enough to get the point across, you know, and I understand like it's the same way for me too when I'm recording my own tracks and I'm like, I'm spending too much time on guitar tone and drum tone or whatever. If the music's good, it's going to speak for itself. But a good production is definitely still important.
I feel like it's like, dude, that's like a very gent specific thing. And I'll even give it to metalcore kids too. Like, it's really only the metalcore and the gent kids that are going to be like, yeah, dude, this could be like a little bit produced better. But like literally anyone else is like, wow, I'm so proud of you. That's awesome.
Your grandma.
But I'd say the definitive answer for that would be when I noticed I had people's attention. Just one day it's like 30, 40, 50 reactions. One day it's like 500, you know, you just consistently have like this base of attention that's coming back because they see like your name. The fact that I kept filming in the same exact spot. Well, you're going to see me again in the same exact spot playing a different song like every time that I post. And it gives like a familiarity to it.
I didn't notice I noticed that, but I didn't realize that's what you were going for. So that's actually pretty clever.
Yeah, it's I appreciate that, man. I could have spent way too much time focusing on like getting a great camera angle because I shoot all of my videos with the front camera on my phone. Yeah,
I'm glad you said that, dude, because when you're trying to create content, you're letting the music speak for itself. You don't need super awesome quality camera or great production and all this. Like literally, you were just like, I got some great ideas and I'm gonna film them, and you did that, and people loved it. Nobody commented on, oh, your camera sucks. Oh, your production sucks. Nobody said any of that.
Nobody said anything about the lighting. Like the lighting literally makes my room look yellow. No one looks almost. I am super self-conscious on camera. That's another factor in why I'm not trying to like get on like 1480 HDK. That music video, that first music video that Still Stare shot, that's the first time I've ever been on a camera like that. Like,
you shouldn't feel like that because you look super cool, I think.
I appreciate that, man. The person who shot it the day of, he like a bigger guy too. He's like kind of like a huskier guy. He's kind of just yoked. Like I told him, I was like, yeah, dude, I'm kind of nervous just about how I look on camera. I've never been seen like that before. And he was like, dude, they're not even going to be paying attention. At first, I was like, what do you mean? And then I was like, nah, you're right, though.
Yeah, no one's going to be pointing any of that stuff that you're self-conscious about. That's just you in your own head. So you stayed consistent, right? After you got that first reaction from the first video, how did you deal with the pressure of, you know, people like this, I got to make another one? How'd you deal with that? Like, what was the process like?
The entire process was just managing expectations. From the first video, after that was the most uncertainty because posted it and I must have hit like some weird algorithm that does not exist anymore. I've tried it, posted it, and I think overnight it got like 100 and something reactions. I think at the time I had like 300 friends on Facebook. It was like super just like, whoa. And then like everyone's commenting too. It's like you see someone react to it, and then immediately like seconds later, like another notification that's like, this person commented. And I'm like, the endorphins are just like flowing. I'm like, dude, I'm talking to all of you. So managing expectations beyond that. The second video, I was completely prepared for it to just like fall on deaf ears because I didn't know if it was going to like catch on the same way. Because there was a couple times where I posted and like it didn't really like garner like a massive response, and I was totally okay with it. Like I'm not posting them to get that response. I'm just measuring it because it's there. It's interesting.
I'm glad you're saying all this, man, because it's letting me know that you're doing it for the right reasons. You're not doing it because you wanted to get those likes and comments. You like literally enjoyed what you were doing and just trying to see if other people did too.
Yeah, the likes and the comments, those are great, but I was going to post the music anyway. I got like a slight confirmation bias from the first couple because they did react so well. I don't care if anyone listens at this point. It'd be cool if someone did. I'm just going to put it out to the void, and whoever wants to like respond to it, critique it, like it, love it, hate it, do it. That's what it's there for. I was tired of just like making music and just not doing anything with it.
Well, dude, I'm glad that I came along and kind of helped out a little bit. Once I saw that potential in you, dude, with the first couple of videos you posted on the Gent page, you know, I reached out and you sent me like a whole EP's worth of songs, like stems that you recorded. And I was so stoked. Like, I still have them. a lot of it needed to be like re-edited and stuff because it's like it was like really rough. But I did not care because I was like, this is sick. Like the way you wrote everything was just so sick. I was like, I don't care if it's sloppy. Like let's just edit it. Let's fix it.
You just do what you do.
Yeah. And then that's how Forbay came along. You released Forbay, and how many plays did you get on that one? Like on Spotify?
Right now it's sitting at or over 30K.
30K. And that was when you didn't even have a band together.
Let me really break it down for people.
Okay, go ahead.
That are listening right now, because I want people to feel good about making music. People need to understand like what I sent this man. What I sent Alan was like, dude, if you send any producer like what I sent him, you would be like banished. You'd be banned. They're like, I can't do anything with this. When I first started making videos, I was not good at recording my own guitar tone. So what I did was I would use Odin guitars and then layer it with my own guitars. But like the Odin guitars were taking the precedence because they sounded so much better. I could mix them way better than I could my own tones, which was completely irrelevant because I was sending them to you anyway, but I didn't understand that at the time. It's like almost all like programmed guitars. That's how I was learning back then. So Forbay is programmed guitars, programmed drums. I did not even have a band back then. Was there any like actual recording guitar?
There was like a little clean thing that I put in there. It was literally just some atmospheric kind of background noise.
By the way, guys, which is crazy, when you love Alan's work as much as I do, the fact that he's like, oh, dude, I have an idea. I'm just going to throw a little something. I'm like, dude, what? What?
Oh my God. My pleasure, dude. I loved your music. I still do. And being able to just contribute just a little tiny sprinkle of atmosphere to that track was my honor, dude. So I can't believe that. You got 30,000 plays within, how long has it been?
It was about a year and a half.
Didn't it get like a lot though? Like maybe like 10,000 or something like that? Like within the first few weeks?
Yeah. So I believe it hit 5K in like the first week. That was really well capitalized hype, especially on both of our parts. It hasn't been picked up like a Spotify editorial playlist or anything, but it's been picked up by that algorithm that like you're just listening to Spotify and then like the album ends and then like it just starts shuffling music that's similar to it. It's like part of that.
Okay, so you said something about timing the algorithm. What do you mean by that? Like, are you talking about Facebook?
Yeah, for Facebook, when I first started posting, I noticed that there were times of the day where if you posted, just the engagement was a little bit more immediate. And when the engagement is more immediate, you get more reactions, obviously, but you also get more comments. When you get more comments, especially when you start responding to those comments, that post starts getting put in front of other people's feeds. Like that's what organic is. For like an organic algorithm, you need people to see it, react to it, and then like that works. And that's the thing is that like I'll get a video that has like 176 likes and 20-30 comments, respond to all of them, and then like, you know, by the end of the week it's got like 200 likes. Awesome. But then I'll get like a video that has like 500 likes, and it's because 80 people commented on it and I responded to almost 80 people. Like that stuff is so tangible.
It's so important for you to keep doing that too.
Massively. Like that stuff, that goes a long way, man.
It does, man. Connections go a long way. That's something that I want to harp on throughout the life of this channel and just in general. Like, you're good, dude.
No copyrights around here, bro.
You had to do it.
No trademarks around here, dude.
What you drinking, man? You drinking a cold glass of milk over there?
Just regular milk.
Yeah. Let's go back to the Facebook algorithmic thing. So do you believe that there is still an algorithmic method, or is it more just you kind of have to get lucky?
Now it feels like you have to get lucky. For me, personally, because I've spent so long developing myself as like a brand, and then eventually like the brand is still there. So like once you just start accumulating those people, naturally the algorithm is always going to work with you because you have people that from like 2 years ago, 1 year ago, 6 months ago that are like, oh, I follow this dude and everything he does I love, and I'm going to tell him every time he posts. So you accumulate those people over the years. Accumulating them is talking to them. Like reach out to these people. I wish I could do a lot better, but I got quickly overwhelmed by that because I didn't realize how impactful my music was going to be to a lot of people. I'm a super emotional person. After a while, responding to everyone in detail the way I want to, because I don't want to just hit someone up and be like, nice, thanks, yeah, bye. I cannot do that.
I can't do that either, dude. I feel like a total fraud if I do
I'm
that.
so human, it's disgusting, dude.
I think seriously, dude, that's going to be what sets you apart. I know that your music alone sets you apart, but like the fact that you love your fans and communicate with them in a very healthy way consistently, that's going to take you further than you expect. Keep doing that.
Absolutely. It never felt like a job to me. It's always so fun. There's a lot of people that just don't have like the social want to talk to that many people or respond to that many people. I do that because I'm like, that's like part of my day. I didn't forget about you.
Never forget about that fire emoji.
Never, dude. Now, oh, dude, I'm coming back at you with a novel. But that's massively important to me.
That's awesome, dude. Oh yeah, like I was saying earlier, like that's something I want to harp on the channel. Is just like connections, man. That's the most important thing. It's just making connections with your fans. That's really what's going to take you far. So Spotify, you're sitting about 30K, and you're an independent artist. You're not on a label. Did you run any Facebook ads on that or anything like that?
I think there was one Facebook ad that I put like $20 into, and this was the funny thing was that ad was basically determined to do nothing from the beginning because I was stupid. The ad was a promoted YouTube link, and anyone who knows anything about what not to do when you're trying to promote yourself on Facebook is to put a competitor's link immediately in your post. I mean, like at the very least, like put it in the comments. I didn't know at the time, so I just pinned it to the top of the page, and it just ended up being there for like ever anyway. But yeah, after that, it was really just the initial wave of gent group people flocking to it, and then I think enough people next day after day after day after, because that's what the algorithm wants to see. They want to see engagement. Like, it's not this simple, like obviously, but that gradual incline is what keeps putting your music in front of other people, and then obviously word of mouth.
Yeah, all of it adds up, man. On our last single, we had, I think it was 40 some, like high 40s, 48 maybe, pre-saves on Carrier. And I was going to touch on that because that's another thing that Spotify looks at when deciding if your song should be on their algorithmic playlist. I know that's not a big, huge number by any means, but cool thing about that is you get people's email addresses when they sign up for pre-save, so that you can always retarget those people for merch or another release or just whatever. Dude, Carrier right now is performing one of the best that we've done so far because of all the thought and all the pre-work that we've done, which was getting the pre-saves. We did a music video for it. We got it on Dreambound.
The cogs moving.
Yeah, there's multiple things happening here. Like a week before the release, we had parts of the music video teasing on Instagram and stuff like that. That was building hype. Just do all these little things at Twitch.
Dude, that was, oh man. Watching that song being created was so cool because like it was never played in its entirety, obviously, because it wasn't finished on stream. For like all of us that were watching, dude, that was like so captivating watching you knock out the guitars and then like Sarah doing the vocals. That was crazy, dude.
So we spent all this time building up for the release of Carrier, and it's performing way better than even Love Always. And I don't know if you remember Love Always has like over 100,000 plays right now. Just that one song. That's our highest played song on Spotify. I'm not trying to brag. I know these numbers aren't like huge, but for an independent artist, dude, that's big. So Carrier is sitting at 11,119 total plays in a 3-week time period.
Spotify's like, I like that. We'll take that. Yeah. That's what happens, especially because you have all the other avenues of like the cogs moving, directing attention towards it. Even if it's just like a trickle-in amount of attention from people that found it on YouTube or found like a teaser video of it or whatever, it just keeps trickling in. The algorithm is so like generous when people are listening.
When a lot of people pre-save, Spotify's already got it locked in the chamber, ready to put it on a playlist. Like, okay, people are about to pay attention to this thing. And then all of a sudden, when you start getting those plays on the release day, another good thing to do is go ahead and run like a $30 ad on the day of release. Run a conversion ad. I'm going to be making videos about this stuff. Okay, so this one's a little bit off topic, sort of. I mean, it was still music, but it's not anything to do with Spotify. Something that I was curious, because I asked myself this question the other day, and I want to know what you would say. Would you consider yourself a guitarist first or a songwriter first?
That's such a good question. That is such a good question. It changed. It changed. Pre-posting music on Gent Group, I considered myself a guitarist. All I had was guitarist in my head, in my phone, and then I knew how to play guitar along to other songs. So
But let me stop you there, though. You
Yeah.
just said something that piqued my interest. You said,
Yeah.
I had riffs in my head. You were writing stuff in your head before you were playing the guitar, right?
Yes.
So you can kind of argue that you've always been a songwriter. You just needed the skill of the guitarist first to bring those ideas to life.
For me, I didn't consider myself a songwriter until I learned how to like properly record my guitar. That was when I considered myself a songwriter. When I was just playing guitar, it was more like I felt like a guitar player. But you could absolutely argue that I was a songwriter the entire time because I would have moments where I would have riffs in my head, and those riffs to this date have always turned into like songs. They always ended up that way. So yeah. And you know what? I like that. That's like super thought-provoking, by the way.
Dude, I was thinking about that the other day. Like when I learned how to play guitar when I was 10, I was the same age as you when we were both the same age when we started playing. It's almost like I knew how to play the guitar, but I didn't, you know?
Yeah.
It's like I had these melodies.
1,000.
It just came to me. Like I did try to do lessons, but nobody was doing it for me. Nobody was teaching me anything. I was like, okay, well screw this. I'm gonna teach myself, and I did. Anything that came on the radio, I would just mimic it. I would learn the song, whatever it was. It didn't matter what it was. I was playing Michael Jackson, Lenny Kravitz, Spice Girls, whatever, dude. Like whatever was on the radio was what I was playing.
Whatever
and that's
you
how
can
I taught
match it up
myself.
to.
Exactly. And that's how I learned like how to match up melodies and stuff to the fretboard.
Yeah.
The funny thing is it came so natural to me, like playing the guitar. And I had always had these ideas. And I think the reason why I didn't like to take lessons and I honestly hated playing other people's music, even though like I was learning how to play like the songs on the radio, I hated playing their music because I was like, this is good to learn with, but I hate this song. So like I would learn all these songs just to learn how to play the guitar. But then I was like, man, this song really sucks, but I want to learn how to play it. Eventually, when I got my skills up and my fingers could do what I needed them to, dude, all I did was just guitar, just all over the place, figuring out different chord shapes. Like I was putting my fingers in different spots, like, and nobody taught me anything. Yeah, I was just learning, dude. And I think honestly, like I've always been a songwriter. I just had to learn how to play the guitar first.
Hey, you know what? I love that you said that because I have to change my answer now. Man.
Yeah, dude. You were a songwriter, man, I believe, for real. I think that's why we met, and that's why like I took notice in like what you were putting out because I was like, I don't know, man. I feel like I have an ear for it sometimes, and I heard it in you. I heard that special. This guy knows. He knows what it is. This is it.
I appreciate that. You got to go to Reddit with that one, man. They'll go crazy.
I hate Reddit actually.
Do you really?
Because there's so many gatekeepers, dude. Like even if it's just harmless self-promotion, they're like, nope, get out of here with that.
They're like, dude, you haven't contributed 7 years worth of karma.
I know, right?
The first post I ever posted in Reddit was like amazing. I ended up like number 3 on trending in like metalcore, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. And then I posted another video eventually in the same Reddit thread. It was just metalcore, and they pulled it, and they're like, nah, what? You haven't done anything. You've done nothing. Just reap people's positive feedback. Like I'm like, dude, like okay. They don't want people shamelessly self-promoting. Yeah. I don't know why.
Dude, I understand. It's kind of like somebody showing up in your DMs like, hey, check out my band. But I got some juicy questions here now ready for you, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you think releasing singles every month is better than releasing albums?
Oh, my goodness, dude. I have the perfect take on this. I
Go
feel like I do. Okay, singling them to death. Like, you can do that. You can absolutely do that. And it's going to it's just going to keep capitalizing every time, from what I've seen. From other people that have done it, obviously a huge case study for people like us specifically, because we've watched him do it, is Ramon Gutierrez. Hopefully I got his name right.
Yeah, you did. I called him Raymond. I actually got it wrong.
If you don't leave Alabama right now, dude, that's why you called him Raymond, dude.
Everybody loves Raymond, dude.
I think he probably had one of the best like executions of like just releasing singles, and it's just every time.
Dude, honestly, I'm gonna say real quick, I admire Ramon's his grind, his consistency, and all that, dude. Like for real, I kind of like I took a little bit of notes from him, you know, because nobody was really doing what he was doing, and he was consistent. That was the main thing that stood out to me. Is dude was consistent.
Yeah.
And he still is, dude.
Yeah.
And artwork, the production, everything, dude. Like, he's just consistent. And I think we can all look to him for some inspiration and some insight on what it's like to be an independent metal artist. That's honestly one of the things that kind of inspired me to do this, was seeing him kind of like thrive.
Branch off of what you just said. Yeah, even if you can't be that like insanely consistent, you could be like half of that and still see return on what you put out there, you know, especially, you know, as singles. So my thought, and this is how Still Stare as of right now is going to be kind of like going about it. We kind of have the idea to basically ruled out full lengths. In the sense that like we'll probably never drop an 11 song project. And the reason why is because we have a massive backlog of music. Being the primary creator of the music, like I just write a lot. All the videos that I've posted in the Jet group that I haven't even touched from like 2 years ago, not even like 1 year ago, and I'm still making new stuff. So we have plenty of stuff to pull from. Like, and okay, so Spirit Box was a great example of this because they released an album entirely as singles.
Dude, you know what's funny about that is I had that idea to do that like about a year and a half ago. That's what I wanted to do. Like what I'm doing now is what we were trying to do like 2 years ago, right before COVID. Like, how about we just release a single every month and then we compile it all at the end of maybe like a 10-month period and like, you know, make an album out of it and have like 2 tracks that no one's heard before added on.
Yeah. Yep.
And then all of a sudden Spirit Box comes around and does the same exact thing. You know, and I'm not trying to say like I had this idea first, but I was thinking this, dude, in my head. I was like, man, that sounds like it would work. And then all of a sudden Spirit Box does it. So,
well, you were probably like equating it to how you consume content yourself, and how a lot of people consume content nowadays is like, it's cool to get like an album of work. I love listening to albums personally still. But a lot of people are like, you know, things are like really quickly digested nowadays. So it's harder to keep people's attention. We know that. That's just how it is. So obviously the single release, had you have done it, things like this happen all the time. Had you have done it for some reason, the industry wouldn't have caught on yet.
For sure. I mean, I'm not saying I would be like the dude to break it all out, you know, and be check out this new business plan, you know, but and like the whole world would notice.
You're like, I'm in a band, but check out the business plan for the band. The music's not even like the most important part.
It's the business plan, dude. Check it out. I love Spirit Box, dude. Sarah loves Spirit Box too.
Shout out Spirit Box. Mike, let me get one of those Aristides.
Is that how you say it? Oh my God.
I don't know, dude.
I've been pronouncing it wrong the whole time. I've been saying Aristides or something.
Aristotide. I think it's Aristides. I don't know, man.
Somebody's got to get up in the comment section and let us know.
Yeah, drop a comment below. But I think I think everyone is pronouncing it wrong, though. I think there's just no way to say it. I thought it was Aristides. I thought that was the coolest way to say it, but then I was also... Dude, I hope I am, because that sounds cool. I don't like saying Aristides.
Aristides.
But then I thought Mayonnaise was the best way to say that word.
I was saying like mayonnaise, like mayonnaise.
Yeah, mayonnaise. No, it's like
one of the mayonnaise guitars, man.
I think the consensus is like just how John Brown says it. So everyone's like, I think it's mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise, yeah. I mean, hey, that sounds pretty elegant.
Sounds
cool. Like that.
Sounds cool. Yeah, but I really like the idea of 6 to 8 songs and releasing basically half. So if you have 7 songs, you can release 3 to 4, maybe even push it to 5. Like you said, you know, maybe just have like 2 in the tuck form when the actual album releases. You release about 3 or 4 of those as singles to really capitalize on the single effect. And then you release the rest of it with the rest of the songs. And that kind of takes care of the people that like when it drops and it's out as a collective, they get to listen to it and be like, okay, already heard all this, but here's some new stuff. After you release that, like you should be working on the next release, you know, and if you want to just keep going obviously, if you want the machine to just keep spinning. Get ready for like the next 3 or 4 singles that are going to release for the next project and the next project. You know, the cog's always got to turn.
Yeah, I agree. Where do you live now?
I live in Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. You know you live like where Misery Signals is, right?
No, I know.
So do you see the dudes around town or something?
No, dude. I don't think they live up here anymore. It's so funny because obviously, like, you're super inspired by them. I didn't realize how inspired I was by them until much later. I caught on to them like late. I think you were the one that told me that they were from Milwaukee at first. I looked it up. I was like, no way. Like, yeah, no. And then like I ended up talking to like one of the bartenders that I go to for like the bar that I like. He was like heavy in the scene when they were playing around here, and he's like, oh yeah, dude, I used to be at like all their local gigs, and I'm like, oh dude, Alan would go nuts, dude.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen them live?
Dude, yes, I've seen them twice, and I love them. Still to this day, favorite band ever. I hated their music when I first bought their CD. I don't know if I told you this story. Yeah, dude. I didn't understand it. Like, this was when I was like 16 years old. I bought Of Malice and the Magnum Heart because of the artwork. Because back then you couldn't just internet search what this band sounded like. I mean, you had to buy the music. You know, there was no Spotify. There was no streaming. No, there was none of that. It was literally, you have to take a chance on this band if their album artwork looked cool. So I did that. I went to FYE like almost every week and spent about 2 to 4 hours just looking through CDs, and I found Of Malice and the Magnum Heart. Thought the album artwork looked cool, bought it. I listened to it on the way home, and I didn't understand it at all. Like it was just too technical, you know. I had never heard anything like Misery Signals ever, so I was like, this is garbage.
Where were you at with music at the time? What did you prefer to listen to at the time?
At the time, I think my interests were metal. Like, they were metal, you know, like System of a Down and like POD.
Okay, yeah.
You know, bands like that, like early like MTV metal back in the day. So I bring Of Malice and the Magnum Heart to a friend's house. I'm like, hey, dude, I just bought this CD. I don't know if it's any good. Like, I tried to listen to it on the way home. I think it sucks. Like, let's listen to it together. So we pop it in a CD player, and I don't know if it's because he had like a better speaker system or something, but like we sat there and listened to the whole thing from start to finish. That's the day my life changed, dude.
Game over.
I was like, I want to make music that sounds like this.
That was when the rigatoni sauce got put in the cooker, dude.
To this day, still #1, dude. Nothing has taken its place. I'm just going to go and say that all my favorite musicians are from Milwaukee.
Let's go. It's something about the cold, dude. When I moved up to Wisconsin, I had my guitar. I had a 7-string Agile, but I didn't bring it up here with me. I left it in Louisiana. And I remember I needed to get back up here one time. I sold it to like have money to like get back up here to Casey. So from like 2017 to 2019, I didn't have a guitar. I completely gave up on playing guitar. I had stopped like trying to like record myself. Casey was the one that on my birthday in like 2018, I want to say, just out of nowhere bought me like one of those starter kits where it's just like $150 guitar with like a strap and like a, you know, like a little practice amp. Dude, like, it took a second, but eventually, like, one day I picked it up and I just did not put it back down. I will tell this story forever. Casey's, like, responsible for Still Stare because I was cool with just not picking up the guitar again. I was like, well, I really like YouTube. I'm watching YouTube videos. This is fun. I'll do this instead, and I'll just work Starbucks to death.
Just watch YouTube and work at Starbucks.
That is so pessimistic.
Wouldn't that suck if we didn't have Still Stare and we just had a Chris watching YouTube and working at Starbucks?
And you never know that's what I'm doing either. Like, I just never show up, but there's just this dude out there that probably has a couple cool song ideas, but he's just so glued to the YouTube. Dude, once I got YouTube, especially once I got YouTube Premium, it was over.
Okay, so back to the story. So Casey's the reason.
Yep, she just one day decided that was like the gift she wanted to get me, and I don't think she realized at the time like what it was gonna do, because eventually like I started recording music the way I used to, which was with GarageBand on my phone and just using this like a really crappy like drum simulator, and then recording like clean guitars because I couldn't do like distorted guitars. They sounded too bad. But I would just make songs, like just little songs where I'm like, oh, nice, that's cool, you know, a little some. And then eventually I'm like, nah, I want to get a laptop. I want to get Reaper again. I miss Reaper.
And then when did I jump in on this journey?
So I think we met like late 2019. You jumped in. I had made 3 or 4 songs. And then the fourth one was Change, which was the first song that I ever posted on the Jet group. So crazy. No, it's crazy like how close together all that was.
Dude, that's really cool though, man. Like that's super awesome to hear that Casey like just unknowingly bought you something that was going to change your life again.
Yep.
That's amazing. Shout out to Casey. That's awesome.
Shout out Casey.
Hey, how's it feel being a married man?
It's awesome. Like even when she was just my girlfriend.
What, like 6 hours ago?
Literally. She's threatened to divorce me like 3 times already.
That's so funny.
Feels great though.
Okay, that's awesome, man. Good to hear. Good to hear. There's another question I wanted to ask you. Actually, completely different. We're skipping all over the place.
Dude, this is the best pilot ever.
How do you deal with writer's block?
Oh, I love this question because there's so many ways. One way, stop, just walk away. Not saying like give up. Like that's not what I mean. If it's just not coming, don't force it because the forced stuff rarely ever sees the light of day. I like a multitude of different things. So for me, when I was a less skilled guitarist, programming guitars. Okay, so I figured out how to compose with it. Cool, so I know how to transpose what I have in my head onto the MIDI map. That's how a lot of songs in the early Stayer days, before it was even still Stayer, and I was just on the Jet group. That's how a lot of those songs were made. But eventually, one thing I would do was switch up how I would start songs. A lot of my songs start with clean guitar.
I have that problem too.
Honestly, it's cool because it's so part of me. It's like my signature at this point, so I'm cool with it.
Dude, you're talking to the dude who's like your clone almost.
Who do you think I freaking learned it from, dude?
Dude, I do the same thing, man. I just beat it to the ground, the whole slow, just...
The slow draw, and then just like really just punching them.
Or the ending of a song.
But I've also, learned how to like enjoy just like the abrupt stop. But to the answer to the question, switching up how I start the song, I love sometimes writing drums before I write guitar. It's weird to start that way sometimes, but it kind of forces me, like if I have an idea in my head and I can't really get it on paper the way I want it to, if I start kind of like just mapping out the drums the way I want it to, and I play guitar to it with it instead of just playing the guitar and then, kind of going through afterwards, that's a really great way that I find to, kind of crush some writer's block. Embrace writer's block. Every time that I've gotten any kind of writer's block, if I just have like a couple days where I'm just not really super creative, sometimes I'll just give myself like a week from writing or like a couple days or like a month. And dude, every time I come back, I'm on that heater, bro. Oh my goodness. Dude, I'm just out here just like, sniper, dude. Like it's fun. I learned to really love that part. So I don't even look at it as writer's block anymore. And I know for a lot of people, writer's block is super frustrating. So find ways that work for you to deal with it best.
What if you're like one of those people that's like you just can't. You're not creative. You can't write anything. You're just stuck. You're staring at the screen. Nothing's coming out. What do you do then? What do you do in that situation?
Why are you putting that question on me? That's such a hard question. You're like, listen, yeah, dude, if you suck, like, what do you do? Like, I'll actually answer this like in the most like educated way I can think to. I can't say there's a definitive answer to the writing block. I would just hope that anyone that really struggles with writer's block gives themselves a chance to like not take it personal, one. And then 2, let it run its course, maybe multiple times. It's not fun. It's not fun opening up your DAW and looking at it for 4 hours and recording 20 seconds worth of material and feeling like you got nowhere. But that's part of it. That's 1,000% part of it.
Oh, for sure. I agree with you there. I think a lot of the approaches that you have are the same ones that I do. But I would also say that like with being someone that writes emotionally driven music, when I have writer's block, I feel like it's partly due because like I have something going on mentally, I'm not in my element. In other words, I need to either chill out, set the mood, like put on some lighting or I don't know, man, just go somewhere different
Yeah, because it could do the exact opposite too. The way you're feeling one day could completely just not inspire you to write anything, but give you that same feeling on a different day, and it inspires you to just absolutely go off, like create an entire song in like 24 hours, essentially.
Yeah.
It is crazy what like feelings and just emotion-driven composition can do, because it is purely based on how you're feeling. And I felt obviously many feelings, but like it's crazy how different the songs turn out. Because there's been plenty of nights where I'm just sitting here and I'm having a great time and I feel great and life's good and I'm chilling and everything's perfect. And I've made many awesome songs from that same circumstance that all sound like wildly different. It ends up being like a more visceral, like really like deep down, like how are you feeling kind of
it's not like a topical feeling like
it's not like
I'm happy today.
I'm gonna write major today.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like that. We're talking about like the deep feeling, like what's going on inside for real. Bring that out. And that's hard to summon, dude. Like for emotionally driven writers, but eventually, after you do it for so long, like me and you, we've been doing it for so long, it's almost like it comes to us. And that's why we have that answer. Honestly, it just comes to us because we're so good at harnessing that skill of tapping into our emotions and bringing them out onto music form or whatever.
And that's frustrating, like not being able to like properly explain that to people, because that's like probably the question I get the most.
And another thing I found is like sometimes, I don't know if this happens with you, but like sometimes I'll write something that's garbage, but there'll be like one element or one riff in what I wrote that I'll keep. It could be like something so small, like a drum fill, 1 or 2, 3, 4 notes in something, like you hear it again, like the next day, a week or later or whatever. And you're like, wait a minute, that thing I did right there, that had something special to it. Let me just cut that and bring it to the new song that I'm going to be writing. And then honestly, that's how some of the songs I write are built.
Like all of your songs are probably interchangeable in a way, which is so cool, because that means like you'll never finish writing music. Like you'll always have.
I love that.
Yeah, and like, dude, I've done it before where like I have taken parts of a song to use as inspiration to write a new song, but I know the new song it's going to sound different. It's going to be different. Maybe I just take the entire MIDI map from one song and I just slap it into a new project and I just try to write guitar over it, or just I approach it completely differently than how it's used in a different song.
I've done that too, dude. Like completely just take what I originally wrote on guitar and rip it out, but keep the drums. And write something completely new over that same drum part. And it's like, wait a minute, I just thought of this from a different angle.
You're like, this slaps too.
It's crazy, dude. That's a good technique too, to writer's block, I believe too. Like if you're having trouble, take what you wrote off from guitar and just write something new over the same exact drums, or vice versa. Take the drums off, write new drums to the guitar you wrote.
You don't have to look at a project that's not finished as a project that's not finished. It's not like the end. I feel like that's how a lot of musicians look at a...
I got writer's block. I'm never going to get over this. Yeah, you will.
You absolutely will.
It comes and goes, man. And that's something that every musician deals with. Even your favorite musicians out there, big musicians, they all deal with it, and they all deal with it differently. But I think me and you are similar in that regard because of the way we write. We write with emotion.
Which is so cool.
I love that, dude. That's why I love talking to you.
I am his friend. For anyone that's watching this video, I'm actually this guy's friend.
Yeah, he didn't just show up today. Like, we've actually been friends for a while. Hey, real quick, though, for a serious question. Yeah. What do you do if you suck, though?
Oh, stop. You just have to stop.
Give up. Don't ever give up. But
absolutely.
We'll move on to the next question. What is the most important aspect of a song to you? Like, what is the most important section or aspect of a song?
Oh, I love this. For me, I feel like it'd be a cop-out for me to say like how it makes me feel, because obviously like that's the easiest answer. I'm going to try and expound on it, and I'll say my favorite part of music is the part where I can feel like I'm expecting something and then be wrong and be like happy I was wrong. Whether it's like because that breakdown came in a quarter step early and it was just super sick, or this one clean part in the back is all I hear over this massive arrangement, but it makes it just so beautiful. Like, just things that I don't expect. I love the unexpected, not just unexpected for it just to be unexpected. I like the unexpected. That makes me like rewind and listen to that part like 30 times over.
I like that. I like that answer.
Appreciate it.
For me, it's one of the core elements that I like to use in my songwriting, which is the cohesive element, like transitions. When a song flows so well into the next part and you're like, whoa, that was clever. It's almost kind of like the feeling you were explaining where you're unexpectedly surprised.
Honestly, dude, if I remember back to like when I really started listening to Impulse, I think that was probably one of my favorite parts about it was how many times like I remember thinking like, there's no way I could have thought of that. Like that was like the feeling it gave me.
Oh, dude, that's the best feeling. I love that. Whenever music transcends your expectations, and also when it just completely inspires you, it makes you feel like you just said, you would have never wrote that. You're not smart enough to write that. You're not not talented enough to write that. And then you think, wait a minute, maybe I can, you know. But you're always chasing that. You're always chasing that one part. Like, even though you feel like you haven't done that, you probably have in some of your other songs, like some of the songs you've written. You've probably done something like that. But you, as a creative, you're never going to feel like you have.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I won't hear it that way. Someone else is going to hear it that way for me, essentially.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that is so cool. That's so introspective. That makes me feel like warm, honestly.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. That was a good one.
I love that.
So this is the last question. Why do people hate the Focusrite Scarlett Solo?
Dude, you saved the best question for last, dude.
Yeah.
People hate the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 because it's red. It's bright red. It's like really red. So it's just off the bat, what is that red box? Second, everyone has it that is entry level, and there's more people that have it that are entry level using it than there are people that are complete pros that are using it. Like, dude, there's people that are like massively good at recording that could use that. Smoke an entire production with only that.
Well, it's marketed that way, you know. It's marketed as, you know, like, hey, buy this studio pack.
Yeah. I think it's just fun to hate right now. Someone made a super funny meme.
Was it the one where the dude was like about to get laid and then the girl saw the Scarlett?
And then she dipped. But it's funny because so many people have a Scarlett, even if they're like super good at recording, that they're like, damn, dude, I feel attacked. So I think whoever made that meme made it at the perfect time for it to just like catch fire.
I have the Scarlett 18i20. I have the big boy version of that.
You got the big one?
Dude, I love it.
I remember like one of Misha's like craziest like viral videos on YouTube like years back was when he was just like running over like a simple rig.
Who's Misha?
Dude, Mishap Menswar. Let me tell you.
I'm just playing. No, I was making fun of those kids that get in the comment sections and just say who.
Dude, they do it every time.
They do it every day.
Every time. But like Misha had released a video going over just a basic like how to like get like a good like how to like set levels, how to get like good tone and stuff like that. Basically all the really beginner stuff. And he was using a $3,000 guitar for sure. That helps. He was using an XFX 2, which also helps. But then it was all being recorded into a Scarlett 2i2. And that video, I think, was like super instrumental in people being like, yeah, you really don't need like a super high-end interface. It comes down to like what you need out of it. So that's why people hate on Scarlett, though, is because it's popular and it's entry level.
I agree with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I mean, yeah, it could probably use maybe some better preamps compared to what's out there today. But when that thing came out, dude, like you were saying, I think you nailed it when you were talking about how Misha used that in a video and was basically pointing at the fact that you don't need crazy studio gear. Just buy this thing at Guitar Center and go record your song.
No, and it's so funny because like people were like, you're running your Scarlett through XFX that costs like $2,500. And then what happens? 3 years, archetype Nolly, buddy. No excuses. XFX for $100. Go get it. It's digital. There's no excuses. Once I figured out that I could use archetype for my guitar tunes, get good drums for my drums, and then low-key bass for bass, I was like, oh, dude, the band's all here. Band's all here, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I got everything I need. Now I just have to think of what I want to make.
So what's the next thing for Still Stare?
The next thing right now, realizing that like we love that we can get our ideas onto paper to sound as good as it does, but we would really like to have that really like next level production on it, like, you know, like, yeah, because I think I've talked to you about like having like Buster at a home, or like the dudes from Atrium Audio. That's like, that would be amazing because they
for sure, best of the best, dude.
Yeah, I mean, like the Era album that just came out, I believe Grant from Atrium, I think both of them worked on it. Like that production level is like insane to me. Like the attention to detail, the way it makes me feel, like that, like production is really important to me. So it was really cool trying to make it work by just us doing what we could, because the mixes just kept getting better like every week, because we're like, oh yeah, it sounds good, but we could probably work on this. But we kept doing that. And then we got to a point where we're like, we're never going to stop doing that, because we're going to be our biggest critics. We're never going to get this music out. So we need to finish it up, walk it, get everything in place, and send it off to someone else that we know is going to take the care, like the care of it that we wanted to have taken care of, in terms of like that massive soundscape that you have to pay thousands of dollars to get.
The only thing with that route, though, I believe might be a little hard if you're trying to go with bigger names like the Atrium Audio people or Buster, is they're going to want, like, well, Buster, he's from a different country, so he'll probably mix your stems the way they are. Or he might ask you to re-record them, you know, if they're not to his liking. But the Atrium Audio people, they'll probably want you to come in and record with them.
Yeah, and that's where we're at right now, really. Is like everyone's got their part tracked, everything's done. But now it's like the figuring out like the production.
You know, if you want my opinion, I think that's a good move to get someone else on it for you, because you're right. You're just going to keep beating into the ground, man, probably doing more damage than good. So give it to someone else. Make sure your stems are pristine, because you don't want them email you back or whatever and say, hey, we need you to come in and track this again or something. You know, just make sure you got that squared away. And yeah, man, I think that's a good move. After this album or EP or whatever that you got coming out, was it an album or EP?
It's an EP.
EP. Okay, so after you release this EP, are you guys gonna try out the single idea, or are you gonna write another EP?
Yeah, no, we're probably gonna do the, like how we kind of mentioned it earlier, where like, say if we have like 8 songs for a project, we'll probably release 4 or 5 as singles, just to really capitalize off that momentum, and then to kind of feed the people that want to have something when the actual album drops, that they can like go to Spotify and be like, oh, I didn't see those tracks until today. You know, it kind of like satisfies those people as well.
That's honestly the business model now. Check out my business model, bro.
Check out my business model, dude. Full circle.
But yeah, dude, it's been awesome to talk to you and laugh and just talk shop, man.
You got to give us, all right, you got to outro us now. You got to give us the outro.
What do you think the outro should be?
So just be something generic, like, hey guys, thanks for like, hang on. All right, guys.
I'm gonna let you do this one since you love YouTube.
I watch so much YouTube. I got you.
All right. Take it on.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn that like button blue, guys. That like button, destroy that like button. You got to disrespect that like button. Comment, subscribe. Don't comment and subscribe, or don't subscribe. No, still subscribe and comment. But like, comment, subscribe to Alan's new channel. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And Alan, you have a wonderful night, okay? My man. Take care.
All right, buddy. I'll see you.